push open the heavy wooden door and the smell hits you immediately. Unwashed bodies, stale ale, vomit, smoke, and something else you cannot quite identify, but have learned not to question. This is the tavern, and if you think it is a place of warmth and fellowship, you need to understand something right now. This is one of the most dangerous places you can be. The room is dark. A few tallow candles burn on tables, their smoke adding to the haze already thick in the air. The fire in the hearth provides more smoke than warmth. Your eyes water. Everyone's eyes water. You get used to it, or you leave. The floor is covered in rushes that have not been changed in months. Beneath them, the wooden boards are sticky with spilled ale, dropped food, spit, and worse. Rats move freely through the rushes. You hear them more than you see them. So at night, when the tavern empties, they come out by the dozens. You are here because you need to be, not because you want to be. In medieval Europe, taverns are not entertainment. They are necessity. If you are traveling, you need somewhere to sleep that is not a ditch. If you are local, you need somewhere to drink because the water will kill you. So you come here, and you accept what comes with it. The tavern keeper is a thick man with arms scarred from breaking up fights. He does not greet you. He does not smile. He points to an empty space on a bench already occupied by 4 other men. You sit. The bench is damp. You do not ask why. You order ale. Not because you want to drink, but because it is safer than water. The brewing process kills some of the things that make water deadly. Not all of them, but enough. The ale arrives in a wooden cup that has not been properly cleaned. You can see residue from the last person who used it. You drink anyway. The ale tastes sour and flat. It is weak, watered down to stretch supplies. But it fills your stomach and dulls the edge of the day's exhaustion. You drink slowly, knowing you need to stay alert. Nothing good happens to drunk people in taverns. Around you, the room fills with the kind of people who have nowhere better to be. Laborers who spent the day hauling stone or timber. Merchants too poor to afford better lodging. Soldiers between assignments. Drifters. Thieves, prostitutes, everyone drinking, everyone loud, everyone pretending this is better than going home to cold houses and hungry families. The noise is overwhelming. Conversations compete with each other. Arguments erupt over nothing. And someone is singing badly in the corner. The sound bounces off low ceilings and wooden walls until it becomes a solid wall of chaos that makes your head pound. You watch the tavern keeper's daughter move through the crowd, carrying more ale. She is maybe 15. Men grab at her as she passes. She twists away, practiced, efficient. This happens constantly. No one stops it. Her father sees but does nothing. This is part of her job. Serve drinks, avoid hands, do not complain. At the next table, 2 men are arguing. You do not know what about. Maybe a debt, maybe an insult, maybe nothing at all. Their voices rise. One stands, the other stands. Fists are raised. The fight is brief and brutal. They crash into tables. Cups scatter. Ale splashes across the floor, across other patrons. People shout. Some cheer. Some try to get out of the way. The tavern keeper moves with surprising speed, a heavy club in his hand. He brings it down on the first man's shoulder. Hard. The crack is audible even over the noise. The man drops. The second man sees the club and backs away, hands raised. The fight is over. The tavern keeper drags the injured man toward the door and throws him into the street. No one helps. Everyone returns to drinking as if nothing happened. This is normal. Fights happen every night. sometimes multiple fights, sometimes weapons. Last month, a man was stabbed over a dice game. He bled out on these same rushes you are standing on now. His blood soaked into the floor. No one cleaned it properly. It is still there, somewhere beneath your feet. You finish your ale and order food. The serving girl brings a wooden bowl of pottage. It is a thick stew of grain, vegetables, and something that might be meat. It is lukewarm and tastes like the bottom of a pot that has been cooking the same base for days, because that is exactly what it is. Taverns do not cook fresh meals. They keep a pot going continuously, adding new ingredients to whatever remains. The pot is never emptied, never fully cleaned. It just continues day after day, accumulating flavors and gods know what else. You eat it because you are hungry and you have no choice. The chunks of meat are gristle and fat. You chew carefully, feeling for bone fragments. Your teeth are already loose from poor nutrition. Breaking one on a bone would mean months of pain and eventual extraction with no numbing, just strong ale and someone pulling with pliers. You eat slowly, watching the room. Trust no one here. The man beside you seems friendly, not asking about your travels. He is marking you, assessing what you carry, whether you are worth robbing. You give vague answers. You keep your hand on the small knife at your belt. Across the room, a woman negotiates with a merchant. She is a prostitute. This tavern, like most taverns, is where she works. The tavern keeper takes a cut of whatever she earns. In exchange, he provides a corner room upstairs. The door does not lock. Privacy is an illusion. You will hear everything tonight whether you want to or not. The merchant and the woman disappear upstairs. You try not to think about what happens next, about diseases that spread through contact, about pregnancies that end in back alleys, about women who have no other way to survive, and men who do not care about the cost of their pleasure. Night deepens. More people arrive. When the room becomes dangerously crowded, body heat and fire make the air stifling. You sweat through your shirt. The smoke thickens. Your lungs burn. Some people have moved outside for air, but outside is more dangerous. Attacks happen in the dark. Robberies. Worse. You decide to stay for the night. The alternative is sleeping rough, and winter nights kill. You approach the tavern keeper and negotiate. A space on the floor upstairs. Not a room, not a bed. Just floor space in a communal sleeping area. The price is steep, but not negotiable. You climb the narrow stairs. They are steep and uneven, worn smooth by years of drunk feet stumbling up and down. The upper floor is one large room with a few smaller rooms branching off. The large room is where most people sleep. The floor is packed with bodies, some on thin straw mattresses, most on bare wood. You find a space near the wall, as far from others as possible. You lie down fully clothed, your bag beneath your head, your knife in your hand. The room smells worse than downstairs. Body odor, breath, flatulence, the chamber pot in the corner that is already overflowing. The sounds are worse. Snoring, coughing, muttering, the rhythmic creaking from the prostitute's room. Bedbugs crawl across your skin. You feel them, but there is nothing you can do. They are everywhere. In the mattresses, in the floorboards, on your clothes by morning. Sleep is impossible. You drift in and out of consciousness, jerking awake every time someone moves. Trust is not an option. People are robbed in their sleep regularly. Throats are cut for the coins in a purse. You keep one hand on your knife and one eye partially open. Somewhere in the darkness, someone vomits. The sound is followed by cursing, then silence. No one cleans it. It will still be there in the morning, adding to the general filth. Around midnight, shouting erupts from downstairs. Another fight. This one sounds worse. You hear furniture breaking, a woman screaming. The tavern keeper's heavy footsteps. Then silence again. You do not investigate. Whatever happened is not your concern. Survival means staying uninvolved. Dawn comes slowly. Gray light filters through cracks in the walls. The room is cold now. The fire downstairs has died. People begin to stir, coughing, groaning, dealing with the aftermath of too much bad ale. You stand carefully. Your back aches from the hard floor. Your clothes are damp with sweat and whatever was on the floor. You check your belongings. Oh, everything is still there. You were lucky. Downstairs, the tavern is a disaster. Tables overturned, broken pottery everywhere. A dark stain on the floor that might be blood. The tavern keeper is already working, righting furniture, preparing for another day. He does not clean the blood. He just pushes fresh rushes over it. You pay what you owe and leave quickly. The morning air is cold but clean. Your lungs expand gratefully. You smell like the tavern, smoke and sweat and something rotten. Everyone who enters a tavern leaves smelling the same. But the tavern is not just dangerous because of fights and theft. It is dangerous because of what it spreads. Disease lives in these spaces, in the unwashed cups, in the shared sleeping areas, in the prostitutes who move from customer to customer, in the very air, knee-thick with breath and smoke and sickness. Plague spreads fastest in taverns. When it arrives in a town, it finds its first victims here. Travelers carrying illness from other regions, locals packed together, breathing the same air, touching the same surfaces. Within days, the sickness radiates outward. Families, neighborhoods, entire towns. You have seen it happen. 3 years ago, a merchant arrived at the tavern coughing. Within a week, 20 people were dead. Within a month, half the town was gone. The tavern closed for a time, but it reopened. It always reopens. Because people need somewhere to drink, somewhere to sleep, somewhere to pretend they are not one bad harvest or one cold winter away from death. Taverns are also where information spreads, news, rumors, lies. You cannot always tell which is which. A traveler claims the king is dead. Another says it is false. Someone insists a village to the north was raided. Someone else says that is a different village. Truth becomes impossible to verify, and taverns are where crimes are planned. In the noise and chaos, conversations disappear. Thieves coordinate, smugglers negotiate, deserters hide. The tavern keeper knows all of this. He says nothing. His business depends on discretion. As long as the crimes do not happen in his establishment, he does not care. You have heard of murders arranged over ale, of robberies planned at corner tables, of women sold like livestock in the back rooms. The tavern is not neutral ground. It is where darkness gathers because darkness knows it will be welcomed as long as it pays. Some taverns are worse than others. The ones near city gates where travelers have no choice. The ones in poor neighborhoods where desperation is currency. The ones controlled by criminals who use them as bases for operations that would get them hanged if authorities cared enough to investigate. But even the best taverns, the ones that try to maintain order, are still fundamentally unsafe. Because they are unregulated, no standards for cleanliness, no requirements for food safety, no protections for customers. The tavern keeper's word is law. If he decides you are trouble, you are thrown out. If he decides you owe more than you paid, you pay, or you are beaten. And women, gods help them. Women in taverns exist in a separate category of danger. If you are not a prostitute, you are assumed to be available anyway. Serving girls are groped constantly. The female travelers are propositioned, harassed, sometimes assaulted. There is no recourse. No authority cares what happens to a woman in a tavern. You have seen women arrive alone and leave with men they did not know, sometimes willingly, needing the protection or the coin, sometimes not willingly at all. The morning after, no one asks questions. The tavern continues. The woman is gone. Life moves on. This is the truth about medieval taverns. They are not cozy gathering places. They are not centers of community warmth. They are necessary evils. Places you go because the alternative is worse. Places that serve contaminated ale in dirty cups, provide filthy sleeping spaces, and host violence as regular entertainment. You return to taverns because you must, because traveling means needing shelter, because water is unsafe, because sometimes you need information or anonymity, or just somewhere to exist outside the watchful eyes of your village. But you never relax in a tavern. You never let your guard down. You drink enough to justify your presence, but not enough to lose awareness. You sleep with one eye open and one hand on your knife. You leave as soon as you can. And when you imagine medieval life, do not picture jolly innkeepers and roaring fires and fellowship. Picture smoke-filled rooms packed with desperate people. Picture violence erupting over nothing. Picture disease spreading through shared cups and shared beds. Picture danger in every corner and safety nowhere. That is a medieval tavern, not a haven. A risk you take because staying outside is a bigger risk. A place that might shelter you or might kill you. And you will not know which until morning. If you survive until morning.